Today we have Patrick Murphy with us. Pat is a professor at Notre Dame. He's been chair of the marketing department. He's well published in the field of marketing ethics and social responsibility, including a book on marketing ethics that's been quite successful. Pat, we really appreciate you being here at the University of New Mexico and helping us with this podcast. We certainly are going to gain from your insights on a number of topics. The particular one we're focusing on right now is teaching area. Specifically, you teach courses in both business ethics and marketing ethics. What are the similarities between these two courses?
Well, the major similarities are that we use the philosophical theories as foundations, such as utilitarianism, the not the greatest good for the greatest number, the idea that outcomes matter are the only things that matter, and I try to contrast it in both business and marketing ethics with the duty-based or deontological theories that say kind of forget the consequences and focus on the intentions or duties. And that's hard, I think, for some business students to kind of grasp because they're thinking all the time about bottom line and consequences, so that I think that some students grapple with that. And then as you know, I've had a long-standing interest in virtue ethics, and so we talk about the various virtues such as integrity, transparency, and other trustworthiness and other various virtues such as that, or values as many companies like to call them. And at Notre Dame, we spend some time as a foundational issue in both business and marketing ethics on Catholic social thought, which is quite similar to the philosophical theories and some concepts like the common good, which brings into the idea the stakeholders and the dignity of the person, that not trying to take advantage of consumers and others. And one of my favorites is the preference for the poor and vulnerable, which is an important consumer group that we want to look at and understand both in business ethics and marketing ethics.
Pat, are there any differences between teaching marketing ethics and business ethics?
I would say that marketing ethics is a subsection or subset of business ethics. And in marketing ethics, we try to, at least I try to focus on marketing topics such as market segmentation, target marketing, and one of the issues that I like to bring up in segmentation and targeting is this notion of market illiterates, people who really don't understand the market that well, such as immigrants to the United States, or people who don't know English all that well. Or I think a good illustration from not many years ago are many of the people who are targeted with subprime mortgages. I think that they were really market illiterates, if you will. And then we talk about the 4 Ps of marketing, the product issues, just to try to go over these very quickly: product safety, product liability, packaging issues, the notion of the product having impact on the environment and elsewhere. In the pricing area, I think the key word in pricing is fairness, that we need to be fair both with our customers as well as other stakeholders. And I know that's easier said than done, but as one person wrote a number of years ago that I like to use in my marketing ethics class, that highly ethical firms are obsessed with fairness. And I think fairness at the end of the day will take companies a long way. One interesting topic in pricing, besides maybe touting price and not delivering on the price, is what's called non-price price increases. And I was reading just on the airplane coming for this visit that a lot of companies have shrunk their packages or shrunk their sizes because of the increasing price and economic pressures. And I think that companies should talk about that from an ethical context before they go forward. Not saying that they shouldn't do it, but they should be concerned about it. In the channel of distribution, one of the issues there to me is the power in the channel. Who's the most powerful member of the channel of distribution? And that powerful member should take more responsibility, whether it be Walmart, General Electric, or Toyota. We know Toyota had many problems in their channel in recent recent years because of the major recall just a year ago. And then in promotion, we could spend probably hours on that, but just to go over that quickly, in advertising, selling, and public relations, that deceptive advertising and advertising that's misleading runs into problems. And one of the things in my study of advertising in particular, it's what I call the unholy trinity, if you will: the advertiser, the agency that makes the ads, and the company whose product is being manufactured often sink to the lowest common denominator as opposed to seeking the highest position, and therefore I think they run into trouble in communication and advertising because of that.
Pat, more companies are doing ethics training, and sometimes we like to relate that back to our students and the type of training that they'll be going through. What types of specialized ethics training do people in marketing strategy and sales need to address their ethical risk?
I would say in the sales area in particular that there ought to be at least annual meetings, if not more frequent meetings, where some of the most ticklish ethical issues that salespeople run into are discussed in a training context. And I know that many, if not most companies, have gone to online training, but I think especially for salespeople, where we have all this still one-on-one or one on a few, that our salespeople need to have the proper training and guidance and not be afraid to call home, you might say, to your sales manager and have the sales manager make that point to the salesperson. And also along those lines, I think that ethical issues should come up in strategy meetings or sales meetings or maybe even advertising strategy meetings. Or now we're looking at social media. There's all this avant-garde social media, I think, regarding marketing, that we need to have companies ask, what would the bloggers say? What would somebody who's outside looking at us from inside our corporation, what would they say about this, issue that may skirt on the invasion of privacy area like Facebook and other companies have run into issues with? So I think that companies need to keep this on the top of mind, because people are watching, and now people are not only watching, but they're blogging or they're giving feedback and information about it. So therefore, I think this training, the need for the training is even higher than it was before, and to be exclusively online training just doesn't cut it.
Pat, I would like to thank you, and we certainly hope that you'll come back and visit us again.